There are roads people drive every day, without ever thinking about the stories attached to them. A road is just usually a way to get somewhere, a line connecting one place to another. But sometimes, a road becomes something more. A place where memories collect, where accidents are remembered, where stories are passed from one generation to the next. And in Sydney's northern beaches, there is one road that has carried a ghost story for decades. Wakehurst Parkway, a winding road surrounded by bushland, where according to local legend, a woman appears after dark. Some say she is a hitchhiker. Some say she is a woman searching for help. Some say she is the spirit of someone who died there. And some believe the entire story is simply one of Australia's oldest ghost story traditions, adapted to a Sydney road. The story of the vanishing woman. Tonight we investigate the legend of the ghost of the Wakehurst Parkway. Who is the woman seen beside the road? Was there ever a real person behind the story? And why does this particular ghost story continue to haunt Sydney drivers? Before we investigate the ghost, we need to understand the road. Because with urban legends, location is everything. Wakehurst Parkway runs through Sydney's northern beaches, connecting areas including Seaforth, Oxford Falls and Narrabeen. Today it is a busy route, a road used by commuters, a shortcut between suburbs, a familiar part of Sydney's landscape. But there has always been something about the parkway that makes it perfect for a ghost story. The road cuts through bushland. Sections are surrounded by trees. At night, visibility can be limited. The landscape quickly changes. One moment you are surrounded by homes and streetlights. The next, you are surrounded by darkness. And the darkness has always been where folklore grows. Throughout history, isolated roads have created some of the world's most famous legends. The lonely traveller, the mysterious stranger, the person who appears unexpectedly, then disappears. From America's vanishing hitchhiker stories to European tales of phantom travellers, the idea is almost universal. Someone is driving alone, they encounter someone in need, they offer help, and then something impossible happens. The Wakehurst Parkway ghost story follows this same pattern. But, like many urban legends, there is no single version. The details change, the names change, the ending changes. But the basic story remains. A driver is travelling along Wakehurst Parkway late at night. The road is quiet, the surroundings are dark, and somewhere along the way, they see a woman. In some versions, she is standing beside the road. In others, she is walking alone. Sometimes she appears distressed. Sometimes she simply asks for a lift. The driver stops, they allow her into the vehicle, and for a short time, everything seems normal. Then, the moment that turns an ordinary encounter into a legend, the woman disappears. Different versions explain this differently. Some say the driver looks back and finds the passenger seat empty. Others say the woman gives an address, and when the driver arrives, they discover something impossible. The woman has been dead for years. This is the classic vanishing hitchhiker, a story so widespread that it appears in almost every culture. But why? Why do these stories appear again and again? And why did one become attached, specifically to Wakehurst Parkway? The biggest question surrounding the Wakehurst Parkway legend is simple. Who is the woman? And this is where the story becomes complicated. Because unlike documented cases, there is no confirmed identity. No official record of a woman matching the legend. No verified investigation proving that a ghost appears on the road. Instead, there are several versions. The most common explanation within the folklore is that the ghost is connected to a woman who died in a road accident. According to this version, her spirit remains because her death was sudden and unfinished. The road where she died becomes the place where she continues to appear. This idea appears frequently in ghost stories. A person dies unexpectedly. A location becomes connected to tragedy. And over time, people begin telling stories about strange encounters. The ghost becomes a way of remembering something terrible that happened. Another version removes the accident completely. In this telling, the woman is simply a mysterious traveller. Someone who appears to need help. Someone who disappears before the driver can understand what happened. This version connects Wakehurst Parkway to one of the world's oldest urban legends, the vanishing hitchhiker. And this raises an interesting question. Did Wakehurst Parkway create its own ghost story? Or did an existing worldwide legend simply find a home on a Sydney road? Because the deeper we investigate the Wakehurst Parkway ghost, the more we discover that the mystery may not be about one woman, and it may be about why humans create ghost stories in the first place. Every ghost story has a moment where it changes. A moment where a simple rumour becomes something more. For the ghost of Wakehurst Parkway, that transformation happened through repetition. One person tells a story, another adds details, a location becomes more specific, a character becomes more defined. And eventually, a woman who may never have existed outside the legend becomes one of Sydney's most famous road ghosts. But who is she? And why does she continue to appear in stories told by locals? To understand the legend, we need to examine the different versions. The most widely repeated version of the Wakehurst Parkway ghost follows a familiar pattern. A driver is travelling along a road at night. The surroundings are quiet. The bushland creates darkness on either side. Then, a woman appears. She may be standing beside the road. She may be walking. She may appear frightened or lost. The driver stops. They offer assistance, and she enters the vehicle. For a short time, nothing seems unusual. She gives directions, speaks normally, and appears completely real. Then something changes. The driver looks away, maybe only for a moment, and when they look back, the woman is gone. The door is still closed, the vehicle is still moving, but the passenger seat is empty. This is the moment that defines a legend. Not the appearance, not the encounter, but the impossible disappearance. A second version of the legend adds another layer. In this telling, the driver does not immediately realise they have encountered something supernatural. The woman appears completely ordinary. She may give an address, a destination, a place where she wants to be taken. The driver arrives, they turn around, they look for their passenger, but she is gone. Later they discover something impossible. According to the legend, the woman they picked up had died years earlier. This is one of the most famous structures in ghost folklore, the final revelation, the moment where the ordinary becomes impossible. The stranger was not a stranger, the passenger was not alive, and the driver was not alone. Another variation of the Wakehurst Parkway story connects to one of the oldest ghost images in history, a woman in white. Across cultures, the woman appears again and again, a figure dressed in pale clothing, often connected to tragedy, often appearing near water, roads, or places where someone has lost their life. The Australian version of this legend is no different. The woman is often described as young, sometimes distressed, sometimes silent, sometimes simply appearing at the edge of the road. She is not always aggressive. She does not always threaten anyone. In many versions, she simply wants to be noticed. And this is an important detail. Many ghost stories are not actually about frightened people. They're about remembering someone. The ghost exists because the person has been forgotten. The haunting becomes a form of memory. But legends do not appear from nowhere. They usually attach themselves to something real. A location, an event, a feeling. So, what about Wakehurst Parkway? The road has a long history as an important connection through Sydney's northern suburbs. Like many roads surrounded by bushland, it has also seen accidents and tragedies over the years. And this is where folklore begins. A real accident occurs. A community remembers. A story develops. Then, over time, details become harder to separate. A person may hear there was an accident there once. Years later, that becomes a woman died there. Later, she still appears on the road, and eventually, people have seen her. This does not mean that people are intentionally inventing stories. Folklore does not always work that way. Stories evolve naturally. Memory changes, details merge, and a place becomes connected with someone mysterious. The Wakehurst Parkway ghost belongs to one of the most famous urban legends in the world, the vanishing hitchhiker, the story that appears across continents. The location changes, the details change, but the structure remains almost identical. A driver sees a woman who needs help. They offer assistance, they share a brief journey, then the passenger disappears. In some versions, the driver later discovers the passenger died years earlier. In others, the person simply vanishes without explanation. But why is this story so universal? One theory is that it reflects a very human fear. The fear of strangers. The fear of travelling alone. The fear that something normal can suddenly become the impossible. A person alone on a dark road is already vulnerable. They are isolated. They are away from help. The perfect setting for a story about the unknown. A house belongs to someone. A town belongs to a community. But a road belongs to everyone. It becomes a place where strangers meet, where accidents happen, where people become lost, where memories remain. Perhaps that is why so many road legends involve the same thing. A person appearing where they should not be. A journey interrupted. A mystery waiting beside the road. After exploring the different versions of the legend, one question remains. Why this road? Why this woman? Why has this particular story survived? Because ghost stories are rarely created from nothing. They usually begin with something real. A place, a memory, a tragedy, or simply a feeling. Wakehurst Parkway has all the ingredients that allow folklore to grow. A winding road, bushland surrounding the edges, long stretches where a driver can feel completely alone, and a history of people travelling through the area at night. It is exactly the type of location where imagination fills the empty spaces. So what created the ghost of the Wakehurst Parkway? There are several possibilities. The first possibility is that the legend began with a real person. A woman, a road accident, a tragic event. Over time, details may have changed. This story may have grown, and eventually, a real tragedy became a ghost story. This happens often. A community remembers something terrible, and then the memory transforms into folklore. The second possibility is that Wakehurst Parkway simply became the setting for an older story. The vanishing hitchhiker legend has existed for generations. It appears in countries around the world. The details change, the pattern remains. A lonely traveller, a mysterious stranger, an impossible disappearance. Perhaps Wakehurst Parkway did not create the legend. Perhaps the legend found Wakehurst Parkway. The final possibility is perhaps the simplest. Maybe the ghost exists because the road feels like a place where ghosts should exist. Humans are storytellers. We attach meaning to places. A dark forest becomes haunted. An abandoned building becomes cursed. A lonely road becomes the home of a wandering spirit. The environment creates the feeling. The story follows. The truth is, ghost stories are rarely just about ghosts. They are about us. They are about fear, loss, memory, and the need to explain things we cannot understand. The ghost of the Wakehurst Parkway has survived because it contains something every great legend needs: a mystery, a location, a character, and a question without an answer. Maybe somewhere along Wakehurst Parkway, someone really did see something they could not explain. Maybe a story grew from a forgotten tragedy. Maybe it is simply another version of an ancient tale told for generations. The vanishing traveller, the woman in white, the ghost waiting beside the road. So, is the ghost of the Wakehurst Parkway real? There is no confirmed evidence proving that a supernatural figure walks the road. No verified identity, no documented case explaining who the woman is. But perhaps that is why the legend has endured. Because a ghost story does not survive because it has answers, it survives because it creates questions. The next time someone drives along Wakehurst Parkway after dark, they may think about the story. They may look toward the trees. They may wonder if someone is standing beside the road, waiting, watching, waiting for someone to stop. And maybe that is the true haunting. Not the ghost on the road, but the story itself. A story passed from person to person. A story that changes every time it is told. A story that refuses to disappear. You've been listening to Criminology Files. Producing these deep dives takes significant time and research. If you find value in our work, please take a moment to subscribe and leave us a review. For case updates and behind-the-scene content, follow us on Instagram at Criminology Files. We'll see you next week. Good night.